Welcome guys back to another video. Let's not waste the time, as you can already see from the title what this one is going to be about. So let me switch the camera and show you what we have here. First, let's have a look at the problem. The carbon buildup. And the oil sludge. So let me tell you what the car came for. The owner told me that he had or has the P0401 fault code present, which it wasn't when I scanned the car, but it doesn't matter. You can see it from here. It needs carbon cleaning. Anyways, what fault codes he had? He had DPF related fault codes, exhaust pressure sensor related fault codes. So basically a whole bunch of fault codes, and also he had a low oil pressure, but not a fault code, but I could just see from the live data that the oil pressure of the engine wasn't sufficient, or it wasn't where it needed to be. So now here is a disclaimer, guys. This is not how it should be done, how it should be fixed, but I'm just telling you what we are going to do, because to save the cost, and then also we need to make sure that even the engine worth like saving. So basically, now let me tell you what we're going to do. The camshaft is worn. You can see it there. But we are not going to remove the camshaft. What we are going to do now, we're going to take off that oil sludge, clean it off, but without removal of the camshafts. We're going to get down the carbon cleaning and replace the sensor and do an oil change, because we've seen cases when actually the oil filter was so blocked, but with this type of oil jelly sludge, that it blocked the oil pressure or prevented the car to have the correct oil pressure. So first we want to see if the oil pressure will improve by just changing an oil and the filter, and also getting this one clean, and also to save cost for the customer, and then he will return for the camshaft replacement and the oil strainer replacement if the oil strainer replacement is needed. As I said before, it is not how it's supposed to be done for the first time, but the financial resources of the customer doesn't allow to get everything done at the same time. So that's our best what we can do. I'll report you and show you after we cleaned this all dirt jelly from here, and also the results of the carbon cleaning, and I'll show you if the oil pressure improved. So basically, when the engine oil was up to temp, so over 85 degrees of Celsius, the oil pressure went down as low as 100 kPa, even 90 something kPa on idle, which is not enough. It should be minimum 140, but if you have 160 or 200 kPa, it's even better. So now I'm going to give Dan its place, and he's going to get it done, whereas I'm going to check that other one, what's wrong with it. Dan is finished with cleaning or touching up the cylinder head. Guys, it is not perfect. As I said, it is like a temporary somewhat fix, because it needs a camshaft anyways, as it is worn. And he replaced or cleaned the exhaust pressure sensor pipe, and he's going to replace the exhaust pressure sensor, and we're going to do an engine oil flush and engine oil change as well. We don't recommend the flush only if you don't know how or what's the condition underneath the valve cover, because if it is this dirty, a flush doesn't help. We're going to do the flush only because he touched up the surface, he touched up the internals with chemicals and carb cleaner spray. So we want to make sure we can get as much out of the system as we can. But anyways, this will come back for a camshaft replacement and for strainer inspection. So that's why we only, like, if you will, done a half job. So now he's going to fit back the new sensor, tighten the bolts for the oil shower, put back the valve cover, and get the carbon cleaning done, which I will show you as well. And then I'm going to show you the values, the live data readings on the computer. For us specifically, the oil pressure is quite important or will be interesting if the numbers have improved. Also, once we remove the filter, we're going to check the filter and inspect it if it was blocked, and from that we can also quite surely know how often was the oil changed. But based on what we've seen on the top, you don't even need to inspect the filter. We can already know that it wasn't done on time at all. The carbon cleaning is finished. Let's have a closer look at the valve. And now we are going to replace the drive belt, obviously assemble the parts back together, and then do an oil flush and an oil change, take it for a test drive and see what the live data tells us. And now guys, we are at the point when the worst what could have happened has happened. As you can see, the guys in the background trying to turn the engine over. So basically we somehow filled up the cylinder number 1 with the walnut media. We don't know how that happened, as I checked it, the valve was closed, then checked it that the valve was closed. We replaced the drive belt and then we tried to turn the engine over and it didn't, we couldn't. So now we're trying to figure out how to remove the excess walnut media from in there without removing the cylinder head. Obviously it is wet, like the walnut media now is wet. We tried with carbon, the carbon cleaner, with air, everything. We still cannot turn the engine over. So I will update you later once we figured out how to get that out of it, and once we are after this terrible situation. So have a look at that guys, what you can see through the endoscope. So basically there is a layer of walnut cake on the top of the pistons and also in the corner. So that's in the corner, a layer of walnut cake, and also on the piston as well. It's a quite fucked situation to be in. We don't know how we are going to get out of it, but by the end of this video you will learn.
Can you explain what happened?
I already explained in the previous clip, but basically both of us checked if the valve was closed. It was.
Was it?
Yes. Yet somehow we managed to fill it up with the.
So basically the camera is going into the injector hole. We removed the injector. We also removed the glow plug. So we put the camera down and we confirmed it's full of walnut. That's why we can't turn the engine manually. And we don't know what we're gonna do at this point. Hopefully we don't have to remove the head.
My bet that we will have to, but we will see if we can figure out something else.
The customer would like to collect this car tomorrow.
No, it is Sunday and today is Friday, nearly 8 p.m.
Sorted.
So we managed to unfuck it. What we've done basically, we've tried WD-40, brake cleaner, carb cleaner, spraying it, pressurizing it out with air through the glow plug, injector, from everywhere. And then we decided the last resort to try it with the starter, to crank it through with the starter before we take the head off. First we tried, it didn't really want to, like it was struggling. Then it went and then it cranked and cranked and cranked. And now it seems eventually that it is moving freely. So now we're going to put it back together, assemble it back together, and then start it and see what happened and what's going to be the case with the car. So after we started the car, I've cleared the fault code, and as you can see, I'm in the data reset menu. I'm only done the DPF data reset. So basically it resets its values or data to 0 I didn't do the injectors because the injector values are stored, not the correction factors, but for the pilot learning. I'm going to show you that in a bit. I don't want to reset them because it can mess up the injectors in this case, because as you could see from the previous clips that the camshaft is worn and we did not replace it. So now let me show you which data points it did reset and which one it didn't. So I didn't reset these ones, sorry, the pilot learning values, but it did reset the DPF data. Those are 0. And now when I go for a test drive, it will trigger a regen, and then I can check back the data again once I'm back. I'm back from the test drive. Have a look at the oil pressure. It's not the best. It falls some even to 120. So the oil, as the oil gets hotter, it falls to like less kPa, less pressure. But what I wanted to check is the DPF pressure sensor values. It is 0.67 average. If I rev it to 2.5, 4 point something, even 3 something, so quite good actually. So those are the numbers I wanted to check. Let's have a look at the correction factors of the injectors. Again, fairly good. I didn't do the reset and the relearn or the adaptation or pilot learning, whatever you call it, because that wouldn't go through because of the worn camshaft. So I don't want it to mess up those numbers, because if I do the reset, those numbers can be even worse. The car should learn it automatically anyways, but very likely it wouldn't, again because of the worn camshaft. So I didn't want to mess that up. And let's have a look further to the DPF values. Also funny value again, the oil data hasn't been reset for like 115,000 kilometers ago, quite a lot. But let's have a look at those numbers. Those definitely improved. So 1.9, again they are quite high after the regen, but as the car will do more regens, those numbers shouldn't raise as quick as this. So quite likely those numbers will improve, and we saved like somewhat, I can say we saved the DPF. Again, that has to be monitored. Maybe it would benefit from a chemical DPF cleaning. As it done the DPF regen like 11 kilometers ago, and I had to do it like twice. So basically when I set off for a test drive, I did reset the DPF data as I showed you guys, but then again after like 5 minutes of driving during the regen, the DPF light, the soot accumulation or DPF inspection required came on, and I had the fault code for the DPF duration, the regen duration. So I did clear the fault code, did under the reset, and then basically the car did the DPF regen. Also during the first one I was struggling to get from 2 to 3,000, so basically it was like kangarooing or jumping a little bit. I know that, I knew that, I've been there before, so I wasn't worried. I done under the reset, and then the regen was happening, and then I could use the car's potential normal. So basically I had power from even between the 2 and 3,000 RPM. Now the car is working properly. I'm going to do an engine oil data reset, and also that is like 10 p.m. Friday night, if you can call it. So then is going to do an engine oil flush, and we're going to check the filter how bad or clogged that it is or will be, and then after we're going to recheck the oil pressure after the oil change. But we really think that strainer has to be replaced or inspected at least, and the rod bearings as well. Anyways, the moral of the story, guys, like always be cautious when you are working on anything engine or car related. It can be either a safety concern if you mess something up, or you can cause like yourself a big bill if you mess something up. In our case, we were quite lucky, we could sort it out this way. It took us like what, 2-3 hours, extra hours, and then we had it sorted. So yeah, we were lucky we didn't need to take off the cylinder head. I'm ending it here. I'm a bit tired. I need to drive home. It will take me an hour, hopefully not more. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and see you very soon in the next video. Until then, take care and bye bye.